Good afternoon, everyone. It's Kinninigan. Just real briefly, I just I'm laughing because it took me like 5 minutes to do this correctly. I'm looking over at the video. Don't ask me how I do it, but I managed to hide my microphone off camera when I do these videos because you ever watch someone like streaming and they got a big microphone sitting right in front of their face? Yeah, it's a little distracting. So I've kind of perfected the art of hiding my microphone in plain sight. And yeah, there's somewhere I'm going with that. According to our great scientists at Harvard University, now this article came from a good sub of mine, not only just a good sub, but at the end of this video, I'm going to show some of her artwork off to you because she is also the illustrator helping me with depictions of Alpha Draconian reptilians. And I have about a half dozen oil paintings of them and a pretty big stack of drawings. David Icke doesn't even have that. And what are great, now I'm a little skeptical of this. You know what's happened with our educational systems. Free critical thinking is not promoted in college campuses anymore, especially with Ivy League schools. Why? Communism 101, the thing you need to subvert when taking over a country is their educational and religious institutions, which, ironically, are the same areas that Alpha Draconian reptilians like to infiltrate. Why? Because it ties into social engineering, which is an entire chapter in my reptilian book on how does a small group of 300 Alpha Draconians control 7 billion people on planet Earth. Well, they have other humans doing it for them through their secret societies, witch covens, social engineering, what have you. But nothing new under the sun. I actually had the Latin quote for that. I'm not going to look it up. I put it on. It's like something else. Soul my Latin. Yeah, nothing new under the sun. So why is Harvard coming out with this? Now I did a search on this to verify this myself because I was really interested, and I do have the. It's not exactly a peer-reviewed academic journal, but I do have the original publication from Harvard verifying this theory. And they claim that this was done to their investigation into what they're calling unidentified aerial phenomenon. Now, I'll tell you this right off the bat. Alpha Draconian reptilians are not flying the UFOs around Earth. Most of those are actually ours. I've been to Area 51. I have filmed them. And I guess, I still got all that Area 51 footage. But I just found this pretty comical because, like I said, they call us conspiracy theorists. Give it a few months, and then we're not. So, what is the point of this? Well, here's my theory. Because of people like me, the information starts getting out, and then I'll read this article to you. I'll show you the source from Harvard University, and I'll show you some actual real depictions of Alpha Draconian reptilians, because they are using a word here that I absolutely despise, and that is lizard people. Why? I've done a lot of research into both reptilians, native Terran reptilians and Alpha Draconians. Neither one of them is descended from modern-day quote-unquote lizards. The native Terrans predate modern dinosaurs, well, though they're not modern, 65 million years, right? But they are a species of serpents that predate dinosaurs. And they do not have scales on their skin like a lizard. And if you know anything about scales on a lizard, there's something very interesting with that in itself. Fish have scales. Lizards have scales. And also in modern day birds, wherever the scales are on a lizard would be where their feathers grow in, obviously, right? It's kind of this, and that was the idea of Jurassic Park with Dr. Grant. He got laughed at because he said that dinosaurs never disappeared; they turned into birds, and that's kind of been confirmed by paleontologist Jack Horner. However, when Jack Horner gave Steven Spielberg advice as to what the raptors should look like in Jurassic Park, Steven Spielberg didn't want to go with the idea because he suggested that they would have feathers. That the raptors would be nothing more than big chickens. Actually, there's a lot of similarities between them. So the idea of Alpha Draconians being avian in nature, it's not a huge thing, specifically when the symbols they use for themselves are avian. In Babylon, they first started showing themselves off at like Göbekli Tepe as vultures. I've already done videos about this. Then they abandoned the idea of the vulture and went with the eagle. I find it amazing that a lot of people can't figure out why is the United States of America, the Nazis, and ancient Rome all using the same eagle. Hello. Benjamin Franklin wanted to make our national logo a turkey and I have that video. I can re-upload that to YouTube. Now, a video I promised to re-upload to YouTube, I have it on my Odyssey. I'm going to have to remake it. And here's why. When I upload old lectures back up to YouTube, I got to scan those and make sure I didn't say anything in those that could be taboo, because YouTube likes to change their community guidelines more than most people change their underwear. And I'm not even joking about that. It's whatever the conspiracy du jour is that day. They got a whole department at Google who's just got to keep up on current trends of what we can and cannot say. Things that you got away with on this platform 10 years ago, you could easily do because no one knew what it was. 25 years ago, when Jordan Maxwell was around, no one knew what the term Illuminati actually meant, and now Illuminati is like basic, it's everyday language. But this is where I'm going at with what this research paper might be. They've done this before, going back to Area 51, the moon landing. Those were conspiracies that, because they came out into the public domain and started getting discussed by people, you have the government then trying to control the flow of information by flooding the market with their disinformation, which is usually half lies and half truths, and trying to muddy the waters on the topics. David Icke. So they can be like, oh, I'm the authority, And like I said, go watch Ancient Aliens. Go watch their episode about reptilians. It's a joke. They're all over the place with the information. It's not consistent. Nothing makes sense of what they say. They are not apex predators. They are parasites. And yeah, they are very occultic in nature. So the word that they're using for these entities is crypto-terrestrials. Interesting. So I have an article here from The Blaze, but just to prove that this is mainstream, good old Microsoft, MSN. Because if you find an article on Microsoft, it's a part of Project Mockingbird, meaning that other news organizations are mimicking the same story. They're not paid to be independent critical thinkers either. We don't have real journalists anymore. We have teleprompter readers. That's all they are. And and quite honestly, they're already trying to muddy the waters with what they published in this paper, because they are not really, quote unquote, walking among humans, okay? You're not going to 7-Eleven and bumping into an Alpha Draconian reptilian, and I'll put my research on the line for that. There's not as many of them as you might think. They are not a formidable force with large amounts of them in underground bases and all. No, it is not happening. So yeah, this is, you know what? I'm gonna read the article at the Blaze. I like this one better, although the information comes from the same source. So before I get into this, yeah, please share, like, subscribe. If you could support the channel, I do not put AdSense on my videos, and I rely on support of my subs to get by every day. Not doing too good financially, so anything helps. Um, and also, oh, I want to thank the two newest Patreons that signed up, Mary and Sam. Two new subscribers that signed up to Patreon within the past 2 days. I told you there is a video over there, and I will continue to put things on Patreon that I cannot put back on YouTube, because I think in the Elizabeth Bathory video I made, I talked about adrenochrome. I can't put that back on YouTube. I'm not going to lose another YouTube channel, because this is where, like I said, they muddy the waters. You're not going to hear any shills talking about lizard people, and like I said, they're not lizard people. That's a huge red flag. But they're not going to go into the blood rituals, the black magic aspect. Do you think a Freemason shill is going to teach you about the occult aspect of Alpha Draconian Reptilians? I don't think so. So, yeah, let's read this. I got my fancy reading glasses here. Although, you know how I look. Harvard social scientist. Oh, God. What a word. Social scientist. I told you, this is social engineering. Harvard social scientists lay out the case for the existence of crypto-terrestrials such as lizard people, and I absolutely despise that word. They are not lizard people. Even the native Terran reptilians they do not have scaled skin. Their skin is serpentine. They have no relation to birds, actually. Very interesting. I will be writing a book about native Terran reptilians after my one about Alpha Draconians, although I'm going to mention them in my book. See, that's one of the hardest things to get people to wrap their brain around, is you're dealing with two different reptilian entities here. One is avian and bird-like. The other one, from the Lacerda files, the native Terran reptilians, don't want anything to do with humans. They view us as an invasive species that took over their planet, which we did, with the founding of Babylon by Marduk and the Ajiji, obviously, and they don't like the Alpha Draconians, and they're not really too fond of humans. Those are the ones that fled to the underground, probably to the Hollow Earth, or according to them, they don't interact with modern humans. They don't want to be near them. They don't want to associate with us. And they are, quote, in all aspects, an ancient species that would have been here in the times of Atlantis, when the Atlanteans inhabited Maldek. And you can kind of see why they're not too fond of us, right? Just like Sasquatch. Look at what we've done to planet Earth, right? Sasquatch trying to live in harmony with Mother Nature. We're out there cutting all the trees down and, you know, doing whatever, polluting the earth. They're not fond of that either. So the idea, now most of the anomalies, like I said, that we capture on video is due to magnetic anomalies of the occult, which is another thing you have to wrap your head around. Alpha Draconian reptilians do not have slit eyes. And like I said, I'll show you some paintings when I'm done. I'll show you what Alpha Draconian reptilians actually look like. And I want to thank Denise. She sent me a package from Amazon. It just came before I made this video. It was some snacks, protein bars. Actually, I am hungry. Maybe I'll eat one after this. Yeah, I need more protein. And I do need cigarettes, so if anyone, You know, I always tell people that. Um, so yeah, I will continue to leave the channel AdSense free. Although you can support me with super thanks. But I will continue to. And the reason I do that is because when you monetize your YouTube channel, most of your videos are going to go up for monetization review. If you get Wikipedia links under your videos, like I will for this video, there's going to be one for Reptilians under there to tell you that they're a product of science fiction. However, the whole irony of that is they're going to put a link under my video telling you that it's quote-unquote science fiction when I'm making a video showing you an academic paper from Harvard University admitting that their existence is real. So, yeah, good way to shoot yourself in the foot, Google. Who knows that? We'll see how that works out in the end. Like I said, call me a conspiracy theorist. Just give us some time. And so I think this is for them to muddy the waters about the existence of them. So yeah, let me read the article here. Trying to get through this without actually laughing too much. And see, and like I said, I despise the word lizard people. The academics suggest in a new paper that the existence of crypto-terrestrials should not be summarily dismissed. I have tooth pain. That's why it's getting my molar under here, which is another reason it's not fun. Tooth pain is never fun. The Department of Defense's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, what kind of name is that, defines unidentified anomalous phenomenon as airborne objects that are not immediately identifiable. Okay, they're talking about UFOs. Which they call UAPs now, unidentified aerial phenomenon. The Pentagon regards UAP as sources of anomalous detections in one or more domains that are not yet attributable to known actors and that demonstrate behaviors that are not readily understood by sensors or observers. The dominant hypothesis for these phenomena are either that they are the work of extraterrestrials from distant worlds and civilizations, or that they were simply fashioned by human beings. A paper set to be published in the academic journal Philosophy and Cosmology recommends that scientists keep an open mind about the possible third option. So they are about to make an academic peer-reviewed paper of this, and I wonder what kind of legal standing does that give me for the abuse I've had to get from Google over the years, telling me it's just a conspiracy and it's not real. Yeah, and now you're publishing peer-reviewed academic journals saying that it is. That scientists keep an open mind about the possible third option, that UAP could be the product of non-human intelligent beings, concealed in stealth here on Earth, underground, and or near environs, the moon, or even walking among us, passing as humans. Yeah, in other words, academics are entertaining the possibility that flying saucers might not be the work of little green men from Mars, but rather crypto-terrestrials, lizard people, stranded aliens, fairies, advanced cave dwellers, or residents of the dark side of the moon. Yeah, I see what they're trying to do with this shit. According to Tim Lomas, I got Tim Lomas's paper pulled up. I'll show you that in a second. And Brendan Case of Harvard University's Human Flourishing Program and biological anthropologist Michael Masters of Montana Technical University, scientists should not dismiss the crypto-terrestrial hypothesis outright. I'm just wondering, did they stumble upon my YouTube channel? Well, they should. Why don't you come let me give a lecture at your university, Harvard? Oh, that's right. You can't have white men coming to your universe. Not with all your DEI shit anymore. Right? You know, I'd have to be. All right, I'm not going to say it. We recognize the CTHs. CTH. Yeah, another word they just made up. CTH to confuse. What the hell's a CTH? Yeah. May rightly be regarded skeptically by most scientists, but argue they nevertheless should not be ruled out and deserve consideration in a spirit of epistemic humility and openness, they wrote. You know, using big words doesn't necessarily make you sound smarter. You know, just saying, the way that people write these articles, they try to make themselves. You just make it harder to read. The trio indicated that they were inclined to pursue the topic after philosopher Bernardo Kastrup's recent dismissal of the hypothesis over its outlandish, unlikely, and far out nature. Their paper, a hodgepodge of references to local myths, alleged archaeological discoveries, believers, anecdotes, questions raised by lawmakers, science fiction, and statements by military officials raised five considerations: limits to historical and geological knowledge, traces of lost civilizations, supposed traces of underground civilizations, traditions around quote unquote magical crypto terrestrials. Oh, you're going to bring magic into this now. Interesting. And UAP activity underground, underwater, and near the moon. The researchers stressed at the outset that this particular theory is distinct from the notion that UAP are the work of interdimensional beings. Instead, so-called crypto-terrestrials are understood to be physically present within current standard space-time dimensions, even if hidden from view. And here's another thing I'm going to throw out there. Look at the shit that is going on in our country right now with our politicians and all this DEI stuff. Are we going to sit here and say that human beings are the apex of intelligence in the universe? Because it's not looking that way. In fact, we're going backwards as far as evolution goes. Just saying. Like I said, Harvard University is not producing the best of the best anymore, and you're not allowed to be a critical thinker. And according to students who go there now, they make your life a living hell. If you're a cis white male, that's another word. Cis. Comfortable in your own skin. Yeah, they made a word up. If you're just a straight white male, you're a cis now. Yeah, so come on. You're being really big hypocrites here. Just saying. Possible candidates for crypto-terrestrials apparently include dinosaur roids. Dinosaur roids? Okay. The native Terrans, like I said, they predate the modern dinosaurs. Across cultures are legends, for instance, of anthropomorphic reptilian races such as the Nagas. Alright, they're wrong right there. I'll make a video about the Naga. The Naga are mermaids. They are a water species in the Hindu pantheon. This idea that they were reptilian because they were shown with the Naga, why they're depicted that way is, I was talking about, well, fish also have scales. The Nagas have an association with water in the Hindu pantheon. I will make another video about the Naga. And one of the first people, in fact, I have her book over here, and it's for sale if you want to buy it, is Madame Blavatsky in her Isis Unveiled epic, which I have both copies, well, part 1 and 2, was trying to make the, it was the argument that the Nagas were reptilian, but they're not. They are an aquatic species. In fact, they helped with the building of Rama's Bridge. And they are openly spoken about in the Hindu epics. So are Sasquatch. A semi-divine species of half-human, half-serpent beings thought to reside in Pantala, a netherworld. No, 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 no. All right, just you don't know your Hindu mythology, okay? Venerated in Hindu and Buddhism, moreover, paleontologists even speculated whether such creatures could possibly have evolved from known zoological origins. Wrote the Harvard academics. Yeah, the Harvard academics pushing that DEI bullshit. Yeah, okay. The researchers cited the suggestion that anthropomorphic dinosaur called the Troodon survived the mass extinction about 65 million years ago and now lurks underground. The Troodon, or some other terrestrial animal which evolved to live in stealth, they in, intimidate. I think they were intimidated. Could be that which former CIA agent John Ramirez. I don't trust anything that comes out of a CIA agent's mouth. Just saying. Yeah, I don't think anyone trusts a lot of our alphabet agencies anymore. John Ramirez apparently believes is crawling all over the earth with the knowledge of the U.S. government, the National Reconnaissance Office in particular. Noting the perception of the absence of visible means of propulsion or sources of exhaust in various alleged sightings, the researchers raised the possibility again non-committally that crypto-terrestrials could instead be magical beings such as angels or fairies, elves, gnomes, brownies, trolls, and the like. If not lizard people or fairy folk, yeah, I really like where you're going with this. There are two other possibilities, according to the paper: remnants of lost human civilizations or extraterrestrial aliens of our intertemporal descendants who arrived on Earth from elsewhere in the cosmos, like the Alpha Draconian star system, and founded Babylon. Hello, it's not. Did you really need a lot of research to figure that one out? Like, seriously. Arrived on Earth from elsewhere in the cosmos or from the human future, respectively, and concealed themselves in stealth. Mm. The paper, released online 1 year after Gallup revealed that Americans' confidence in higher education is falling 36%, I'm just telling you why. Yeah, there is no faith in higher education. Notes that the primary locals where NHI have been alleged to hide out are Antarctica, Dulce, New Mexico, deep in the oceans, and on the dark side of the moon. No, I'll tell you where they're at. They're in Greenland. I will re-upload the Rome and the Greenland theory videos because Rome never Rome is still in power. Well, Babylon essentially is still in power. Volcanoes such as Popocatépetl volcano in central Mexico are also apparently possible headquarters, if not portals. The researchers admitted in their conclusion that all four hypotheses are far-fetched on their face. We entertain them here because some aspects of UAP are strange enough that they call for unconventional explanations. The trio noted that whereas in past years, we personally would have rated the possibility of CTH having some basis in truth as low as 1%, that they would now put it around 10%. Indeed, this is fitting summary of CTH. It may be increasingly improbable, but hopefully as this paper has shown, it is nevertheless be kept on the table as we seek to understand the ongoing empirical mystery of UAP, continued the researchers. This point was made in a recent article in Scientific American, for example, titled, "It's Time to Hear from Social Scientists About UFOs." Although accepted for publication, the paper has not yet been peer-reviewed. And that's what I was saying. Was this peer-reviewed? No, it hasn't, but I found it comes from ResearchGate. This is the paper right here from... Oh my god. Let's see what this guy looks like. Oh, he's got his picture on the paper. Isn't that great? Tim Lamas, Harvard University. Yeah, he's probably all right, whatever. But this is the paper. I'm wondering if he has come across my YouTube channel. You gonna come let me give a lecture at Harvard? Um, and like I said, this might be a precursor just to muddy the water on the whole thing. This is a long paper. How many pages is this? It's a lot. He's all over the place. He's talking about Lemuria in this. Mu, Easter Island. They're trying to muddy the waters, trying to associate this with the UAP phenomenon. If you want to contact an Alpha Draconian Reptilian, let me see if I have this on my hard drive. I'll show you how. Because they roll the occult. Let me see if I have this paper on my hard drive. If not, I'm going to have to re-download it. Or it is on my other computer. Let's see. Where would I put this? Oh, downloads. Here we go. I have a Grimoire that comes from ancient Babylon. And it is basically a how to. Now, there's different types of magic. When you're talking about summoning a reptilian entity, this is not your typical pentagram, low level black magic. You're talking about summoning a sorcerer. There's a very big difference. Now, I don't think I have that on this hard drive. I don't see it. Um, ooh. I do have the PDF about the cynocephali. That's the dogmen. That is the journal of Christopher Columbus when he encountered them. I gotta get those videos back on YouTube. And like I said, with the other one, like Elizabeth Bathory, I had to go back and look at that video to see what I said in there. I'm not feeling 100%. You just don't want to see me disappear off YouTube again, right? I can't afford it. I really can't. I've had to rebuild 10 YouTube channels. And this is, hopefully, as long as I can keep, and, any small donations help. Like I said, it all adds up. I could buy 10 cans of tuna fish for $5, and my cats love tuna fish. Just to give you an idea, I can't. I'm not eating filet mignon and lobster tail every night, although I'd like to. uh, no. Yeah, I don't have it on this hard drive. I have it on my other one. It is called. It's a Grimoire from ancient Sumeria because all the cuneiform tablets are black magic texts. This is why, strangely, a lot of them are missing parts on the cuneiform tablets because they're black magic incantation rituals. They are highly occultic in nature. Um, Thus, yeah, it is part of their camouflage. For many years, the idea of magic, McDonald's mocking you right in your face. Do you believe in magic? That was mocked as not being very real. Now they're trying to push the idea of magic, especially on the youth, because with their New World Order, they want to bring serpent worship out into the open. Now, this I see as a way for Harvard to get the ball rolling, to start to muddy the waters, to shut down people like me who actually make sense with our research and can explain these entities by just going. It's a lot like the Reptilian episode on Ancient Alien. They are all over the place. They're showing you all different kinds of cryptozoological animals that have no association with one another. And at the end of the day, it's why I do not get involved with reptilian encounters. Because I'm not going to sit here and say that this person saw this or this person ran into a reptilian at 7-Eleven or they didn't. That's not what I'm here for. I always intended to find the facts about Alpha Draconians. And wherever that took me, I was prepared. And if I would have researched it and thought the whole thing was bullshit, I would have already said it. Because I have no... So anyway, let me show you what these entities look like. I'm going to show you 3 oil paintings I have here. Starting with the smaller to the larger ones. And I'll show you what an Alpha Draconian actually looks like. Okay? So again, please, full video, there we go. Please share, like, subscribe. So here goes one here. This is kind of the idea of what I wanted for the cover of the book. I kind of had it imagined in my head. But, here we go. Here's the first one here. This is what an Alpha Draconian. Now, you understand why I get a little, we're talking about in 2024 where, God forbid, you misgender somebody. So, yeah, you know what? I have every right to get triggered over lizard people, okay? Because you'd be big hypocrites to tell me that I couldn't. Harvard. Yeah, let me go to Harvard University and misgender. Yeah, God forbid. I won't be invited back for any more lectures, tell you that. The irony. So here, let me try. I'm trying to go around my hidden microphone right here. So there goes one right there. This is another one. This one's a little bigger. We're going to have a reptilian art show. Yeah, they do not have scaled skin. Now this crescent that's on the head, I have a theory about this. And it makes sense coming from the black magic aspect. Birds are very in tune to magnetics. That's what rules the occult. So, it's no coincidence that a bird who are very in tune to magnetics, this is how they could fly all around the planet without GPS and know where they're going, north, south, for the winter, or whatever, because they rely on the magnetic field. So do insects. So, they're very in tune to magnetics, which is what I think the crescent on their heads might actually, kind of like an antenna. If you, I will be explicitly explaining what they look like in my book. Maybe I'll read you that chapter once I get it written. And then here's another. And this is more or less, and you'll notice one thing off the bat. Yes, they do look like the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal. Although, they're not exactly the same. I couldn't make them exactly the same. I'm not trying to plagiarize Jim Henson. No, what I'm trying to tell you is Jim Henson was trying to show you something. And sadly, I think it cost him his life. Which is one of the few things I do worry about publishing my book. Because it looks like they're going out of their way to muddy the waters on reptilians. One is calling them lizard people. I don't think they can grasp the concept of being 2 different species. Now, the native Terrans, for example, there are male and female within their species. However, Alpha Draconians are androgynous. They have no gender. What do you call that now? Non-binary? Yeah, whatever. Which is why they absolutely despise the human emotion known as love, and they absolutely despise human women because they have the ability to create life. And I believe that the idea is they don't understand how humans could mate with one another and stay together in a monogamous relationship and raise a family. Like, I think it was. I honestly think the Alpha Draconians, that's an alien concept. It should be like other animals in nature. You know, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Dad's not around. You know, he's wherever, running off in the forest after, and mama's raising the cubs. Kind of the same idea. There are a few animals who will act as a father figure for their young. Lions, for example. I am a Leo, so I can. Although I don't have 50 lioness wives and 50 kids running around, but that's what lions do. But now, some animals do stay in monogamous relationships. That's a very interesting social aspect of some animals. So, and then you have insects like the praying mantis or the black widow who kill their mates. Oh yeah, the praying mantis. I gotta make a video on praying mantis. I have a theory about them. They are alien, also. I don't. I believe they're based off the ant people that the Hopi Indian talk about, which is another kind of strange alien race that is possibly very real. They were shown in the movie Ender's Game, if you ever seen that. The ant people talked about the Hopi Indian. And who knows? Maybe they were the Atlanteans. I honestly have a theory about what the Atlanteans might have been. Specifically, what color they would have been. I think the clues to that are going back to the Hindu epics. I think it's a very real possibility that the Atlanteans themselves may have had blue skin. So, but this was a video about reptilians, not the Atlanteans. Although they did infiltrate Atlantis. And that was done through blood magic. Which I don't expect anyone out there specifically trying to muddy the water about reptilians to hit the occult aspects about them, because they won't. They're not going to. So yeah, I'll pin this as a top comment. This is the peer-reviewed academic journal, which is the source. Oh, that. What the hell is this? Hold on, I gotta show you something on this paper. Huge red flag. Can you see that? Philosophy and Cosmology 3-3. Oh, how convenient. You put 33 on the paper. What's that all about? Is that some kind of hidden code? No. Probably. So anyway, thanks D877. Yeah, Brendan Case and Tim Lomas. Tim and Michael Masters. MM. That was another guy reviewing this paper. Michael Masters. No red flags there. MM. Master Mason. So yeah, they this sounds like they're trying to muddy the waters here. Why is Chuck Schumer mentioned in this? He's in this in 2023. Chuck Schumer, because he wanted to know about UAPs. Oh, please. Anyway, that's going to be all for the video. Join. No, I'm not joining your website here. So yeah, if you could support the channel, all the links are in the description. I have Cash App, Vemno, PayPal. You want to buy me a pack of cigarettes? It's awesome. All the money goes to good use. I will continue to leave these videos AdSense free. I'm not one of them channels, you know, as bad as I'm doing financially, that's going to stuff 20 ads in a 20-minute video. Let me tell you a little secret. I don't see ads on YouTube anyway because I use the Brave browser. But so I'd be kind of a hypocrite to put ads on my videos in the first place. And it's not Google can keep their AdSense money. Although they send me emails every day begging me to turn it on. But I don't want to. Because I just want them to stay away from my YouTube channel and leave me alone. I already know what I'm allowed to and not allowed to talk about on YouTube. I get emails all the time like, oh, why won't you talk about this? Well, if I'm not talking about it, there's probably a reason why, okay? Over the past 7 years, I added them all up. I have gotten close to 30 community guideline strikes from YouTube. That makes me kind of the authority on what you're allowed to and not allowed to talk about on this platform, because I've gotten strikes for everything except promoting violence. Actually, not. No, they accused me of promoting that. I think in a Trump video, yeah. After the, what happened at that event at the Capitol, whatever. So, yeah, Harvard University, the university popping out our great DEI social justice warriors anymore. They're on the case of reptilians. Yeah, and they're making up new words for this crypto-terrestrial hypothesis. Right. Why don't you just look into the Latin roots of the word Draco, or serpens? Serpens is the Latin word, the root of serpent. That's actually something that's in my book. And what that translates to in Latin is a snake with a heightened sense of intelligence. And yeah, I will make a video on the Naga and prove to you that the Naga were actually an aquatic species, more akin to mermaids, except they do not look exactly like you might think. No, they don't look like the Little Mermaid from Disney, Ariel. Not at all. But they are definitely talked about. And I have a theory. Um, uh, that actually ties in with Cthulhu. I have a theory about how the Draconians took over this planet. I don't think they did it alone. Remember, there was another actually peer-reviewed journal that came out, and that one was peer-reviewed, that said that the octopus and cephalopods are an alien species, not native to Earth. They came here through panspermia. So did Venus flytraps. They're only found in one place in the world, off South Carolina, where meteors struck at one time. And what I believe happened when the planet Venus hit Maldek, there might have been a few things that came to our planet that were not, quote-unquote, native to Maldek. And, yeah, kind of, I'll do that in a separate video. It's kind of this theory I have. It's a little bizarre. But, hey, it makes for better science fiction than Star Wars right now, I'll tell you that. This theory that maybe Alpha Draconians had some help. They had to take over the oceans. And I think there's a very interesting thing going on here, according to Credo Mutwa, with dolphins, octopus, and even the Naga. And what is really going on there? Maybe the Kraken is real, and maybe it was. They had to rule the oceans to rule this planet. Obviously, our planet's 72% water. However, if you are an avian species, like an Alpha Draconian, you're not going scuba diving and taking over the oceans. But maybe you had some help. Cthulhu. Yeah, I've thought about this stuff in a lot of detail. So, it looks like I need to get my book published, and then maybe I'll get invited to Harvard University. uh, yeah, I'm not counting on that one. Anyway, that's going to be all for the video. Any questions or comments, leave them below. God bless and take care.